Well, hello, everybody. My name is Pastor Kate. We're working through church administration, law, and finance. And in today's teaching, we are going to tackle the topic of stewardship. So I think that when we hear the word stewardship, many of us immediately think about money or tithing. Certainly, giving is a part of stewardship, but the biblical version for stewardship is much broader than that. Stewardship is not something that we do once a week or once a month. Rather, it is the posture of our entire lives in response to God's grace. Everything we have, everything we are, and everything we manage flows from the truth that God is the owner. From the beginning of Scripture, God reveals himself as the rightful owner of creation. Humanity is entrusted with responsibility, not ownership of that creation. To be a steward means to be authorized to manage what belongs to somebody else, to act on their behalf, and to reflect on their character and how we carry out that responsibility. So that truth changes everything. Stewardship is not about God trying to take from us. It is about God trusting us to participate in his purposes. The Bible consistently shows that stewardship involves three key realities. First, the steward manages what belongs to another. Second, the steward's authority is delegated. It's given, not earned. Third, the reputation of the owner is directly tied to the steward's faithfulness. When a steward acts wisely, the owner is honored. But when a steward acts carelessly, the owner's name suffers. This is why stewardship is never a private matter, and it always carries public implications. Scripture gives us powerful examples of stewardship done well. Joseph managed households, Joseph managed prisons, and eventually he managed an entire nation, and he did it all with integrity and excellence, even when the circumstances were unfair. Abraham trusted a servant with everything he had, including the future of his family line. Moses was entrusted with the care of God's people and was described as faithful in all of God's house. In each case, these three stewards were free to act, but never free to act independently. The Bible also warns us through negative examples. When leaders treated their entrusted authority as personal privilege rather than sacred trust, they got removed from their positions. Scripture makes it clear, no steward is indispensable, and accountability is always part of leadership. Stewardship without accountability eventually will become self-interest. This carries particular weight for the church, because pastors and leaders are not owners of the church. Christ is. We are managers of God's resources, whether they be spiritual, relational, or financial. The New Testament emphasizes that leaders must be faithful. Leaders must be trustworthy, and leaders must be above reproach, especially in how they manage what has been given to them to take care of. Faithfulness is not just about good intentions, it's also about wise systems, clear oversight, and transparent practices. So, in light of this information, financial stewardship is not merely administrative, it is deeply spiritual. Weak financial practices do more than risk the church's money. They risk credibility, they risk witness, and they risk trust. Strong internal controls, clear reporting, and consistent accountability are modern expressions of an ancient biblical principle. A steward must be found faithful. Ultimately, Jesus himself is our model. Jesus lived entirely for the Father's purposes, never acting independently, never seeking personal gain, and always serving for God's glory and the good of others. He showed us that stewardship is not about control, but about service. It is not about ownership, but about obedience. So the question for us is simple but searching. Are we managing God's resources in a way that honors his name? Stewardship is not a burden placed on us. It is an invitation to reflect God's character, advance his purposes, and demonstrate faithfulness in every area of life. When we steward well, God is glorified, people are protected, and the mission of the church is strengthened. So today I want to challenge you to think about how you can honor God in your daily stewardship. Do you need to improve when it comes to managing your personal finances or the finances of the church? Is your church facility in tip-top shape, or is it in disrepair? Have you implemented safety procedures and precautions, such as background checks, a safety team? Are there SOPs for every area of ministry? Do you have insurance? All of these things and so many more will go a long way in caring for the resources that God has trusted you. Thanks so much, and I look forward to teaching you next time. Have a great day.